Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Altcoin Daily with Bitcoin Gorilla. Today, altcoin I'll be breaking down is called Flamingo FLM token, currently trading at 0.337 cents. By the end of this video, you're going to get the fundamental analysis of what Flamingo is, what is used for, and then after the fundamental analysis, we are going to come back to the price to break down the price. Then I'll share my opinion of what I think the market is going to likely do next in terms of price movement using simple price action strategy that I developed myself called the Bitcoin Gorilla strategy. So if at the end of this video you find the strategy quite interesting because I'm not using any indicators, it's going to be pure price action and I'll be drawing the charts for you to see. So if you end up liking the strategy, you give me a thumbs up, and if you want updates, you want to subscribe, click the notification bell so that you'll be notified when next I post. So let's dive into Flamingo. Flamingo currently has seen a rise of 5.65% in terms of upside since the last 24 hours. The current market supply of Flamingo, the current circulatory supply is around 150 million tokens, of which the total supply is also 150 million tokens. Now, the current market cap of this token is around 50.641 million, approximately, of which it has seen 5.69 rise in that market cap in the last 24 hours. When we look further deeper into the statistics of this token, we see that the all-time high, the highest price the price has ever attained since going listing and being traded in exchanges was 9 months ago around the price of $1.24, $1.24. This happened around April 2021. But the funny thing is that Flamingo token has lost about 72% of that move to the upside, and this is why it is currently trading below a dollar at 0.3 cent range. If we talk about in terms of the lowest price it has ever seen, then the lowest price was reported about a year ago around January 2021 around the price of 0.12 cents. Now, if you have bought Flamingo since the point where it started trading, actually you'll be on the downside of around 49%. So is this coin a good investment for 2021 for 2022 since it didn't perform so well in 2021? Will it be able to perform good in 2022? This is what me and you will be finding out. But let's understand what is Flamingo. Now, Flamingo is a decentralized finance. We're talking about DeFi here. It's a decentralized finance platform based on the Neo blockchain and the Poly Network Interoperability Protocol. It combines several DeFi applications into single ecosystem. I'm talking about a cross blockchain asset gateway wrapper, an on blockchain liquidity pool swap, a blockchain asset vault, a perpetual contract trading platform, and a decentralized governance organization. All this is what is put into one to make up Flamingo. Now, different components of the Flamingo network are planned to be launched in several phases, of which token wrapper for Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, Neo, Ontology, and others was launched in September 2020, which is the token, the FLM token itself. Now, swap and LP token staking started September 30th, 2020 also. Now, phase 3 of the Vault launch also, and stable coins insurance was happened around October 2020 as well. So different stages of the launching took place in terms of Flamingo, of which all of them has already occurred. Now, what is even so special about Flamingo? Because we have so many other platforms that offer decentralized finance, DeFi, right? So, what makes Flamingo competitive enough to withstand the competition in the DeFi community? Now, Flamingo position itself as a singular platform that combines multiple decentralized finance tools for new into a common ecosystem that will be governed by its user by a decentralized autonomous organization. Now, decentralized finance is a nascent, right, fast growing trend in the cryptocurrency industry that encompasses various financial solutions that often operate on top of cryptocurrency blockchain. Now, working as a sort of second layer industry, DeFi platforms are conceptual. They are conceptually aligned with the idea of the cryptocurrency industry as a whole, eliminating third parties and singular point of failure for monetary and financial system. Having emerged in early 2020, I think DeFi emerged in early 2019. By mid 20, the DeFi industry already boosted about close to 4 billion that are locked in collateral assets, right? Some of the main uses cases in DeFi are cryptocurrency lending, yield farming, and decentralized exchanges, of which some of us know about now. However, for most cryptocurrency and their respective DeFi environment, each of these solutions is usually provided by single separate platform. Now, Flamingo uniqueness comes in the advantage that it can bring all of them into one platform, which means the advantage comes from the fact that it is aiming to combine all the key financial instruments for the new cryptocurrency token wrapping, liquidity pooling, asset vault, and contract trading. Bring everything together and make them available via a single platform that will be governed by its user in a decentralized way. So now that we have a little brief of what differentiates them from other DeFi platforms, because you can see everything seems to be in one. DeFi from A to Z. Flamingo is a platform that helps you convert tokens. You can convert your tokens. You can provide liquidity. You can become a liquidity provider. It's also does yield farming. So a lot of things, staking, everything is put into one. You aim by collecting fees and getting minted FLM as a reward. You mint FLM as a reward, and you correct the fees that are paid also as a reward. So this is what the platform looks like. And currently you can see their pool, their current pool. You can see they have FLP, FLM, BNEO. So you can see different pools, of which I really see their returns is quite high compared to a lot of other DeFi is this thing that are platforms that I've checked. This one you have some returns are some are even close to 91%, which is very high. A yearly return of 91% is quite a good return without trading, without doing nothing, just providing liquidity and staking your coin. That's quite good. So they do have quite the main thing that I've seen that is quite very interesting is just the returns that comes from the liquidity proof, right? When you provide liquidity for them, it seems they have good return. And so far from what I'm seeing, the returns are quite very good. The returns looks okay for me, the way I see it. But if you want to look deeper into their returns, I think it will depend on the coin you are providing, depend on the liquidity pool you are selecting. So each liquidity pool has its own return and what you're likely going to get at the end of the day. Remember, you can swap the coins, and not just that, you can stake it and then you're going to mint FLM as reward. You can see where you can calculate your earning even before you get started. So with that being said, I think this is their statistics of what the current liquidity pools are like. You can see how many new liquidity this is the current price, the volume, the supply volume that they have in the last 24 hours, and you can see the fees reward that are coming from it. So you can see their FUSDT also. Okay, that's quite not bad. So the statistics, they say numbers don't lie, right? You can see the pools and the numbers. So if you really want to get more about what the pools have to offer, and the good thing about going into staking with them and liquidity pool and all of that, you might want to visit the Flamingo finance and check them more out. But for now, me, I'm here for the price. I'm a trader. I know it's good to know the fundamental because it's going to help me have a um better aspect, knowing that this coin has value and I can boldly invest into it and know that there's a future. That's why knowing the fundamentals of every coin is important. But after knowing the fundamentals, the price is what is going to help you determine if you're going to make good profit out of the moves or not over time, right? So let's look at the price. So this analysis is going to be conducted between weekly chart and daily chart. So I'll be interchanging between the two. So the first thing I've gotten is my support and resistance, which are very important. And I'm going to go ahead and map the rest of the support and resistance that are very obvious in my face, right? So these are the support and resistance. So if you don't know what support and resistance are, there are areas on your chart that are hidden. These areas are points where price gets to, and if price is moving to the upside, then you're going to encounter a resistance. Example is here, when price gets to and price couldn't move further up and is forced to pause and either go sideways for a while or continue the move to the upside. Now, depending on the resistance, this resistance area also known as supply area. So they can actually, if the supply is high, they can lead to a total reversal of the trend. Now, the opposite of this is of course support. Now, support are also found when price is going to the downside. They are areas on your chart, they are hidden areas on your chart, levels on your chart where price gets to and price couldn't move further down, and price is forced to either pause for a while depending on the demand. If the demand is strong, price is forced to reverse and change direction. So demand is what rises this and causes change in direction. So one thing you must know is that support and resistance always break. So having it at the back of your mind that they are interchangeable. When a support is broken, it automatically becomes a resistance, and when a resistance is broken, it becomes a support. So I am bringing in the Bitcoin Gorilla block box strategy. This is what I just drew now. So the next thing I do is get my support, right? So this is the major support of the box, and I'll get the major resistance. And I'll tell you this resistance is quite extended on this chart. And because we don't have much data to work with, we still do have something to at least pin our history from. Like they say, history repeats itself in terms of analytics and data, right? So we have something to work with, and this is the daily chart. So I drew the first box on the weekly chart, but I see that price has been stuck within a range, and it will be, look at this range, price has really been stuck in this range. So I am going to use the daily chart to help me have a better um judgment of this chart as a result of the sideways movement. So I have this to help me have a better judgment. But I think with what I've just seen, I needed to adjust my first drawing down, because this second particular one needs to be here, so that by the time I'm getting the support and resistance, it will make a better, more sense, right? So I think, oh, let me zoom in. So this is 4 hours. So great. This is 4 hours. So let's go back to daily chart. I just wanted to make sure I'm getting that extended resistance very well. So I'm going to go ahead and get my support and resistance as well of this box. And I'm going to go and get the resistance as well. So this is my support and resistance of this new box that I just drew. Now with this little information, I can tell you that, let me see if I can get buyer's line and seller's line. Now obviously from this chart, my clear buyer's line, my clear seller's line. Remember, seller's line is also mean the supply line. This is a supply line. Now if I go to lower time frame, the intraday, you find out that this move disappears on the intraday on 4 hours, and I will show you that. So I am going to also get the buyer's line, right? Now I see that there's been a clear buyer's line that was broken in the past. I can see it right here. They try to hold it though. Now this is daily chart. So let's go to 4 hours so that you see what I was trying to say. So now we are on 4 hours. This is what the chart looks like on 4 hours. You can see that this so this particular move is an intraday line. This particular line is an intraday line. This particular candle you're seeing is a total candle that did not even close. You can see this is where the candle closed, right? So this entire point was just a wick. So I am putting it into consideration, but I knew that it was just nothing but a rejection that took place in that aspect. So let me take this away. So now we're going to have a better interpretation of this chart. So we're working with what has been playing out quite some time around this range. And if I zoom in, we have a better view of what this chart looks like. And if I zoom in, this is what this chart is telling me. This is what this chart is telling me. So from this, let me explain my box so give you a better view so that when I'm explaining, you have a better understanding. This is a demand zone. This is a supply zone. Now, this demand and supply works for this box, this particular range box. Now, that is the second box. Meanwhile, I first drew a first box, which this is the demand zone, and this is the supply zone. The first one that had this extended supply, this particular supply, right? But this is the biggest box. Now, that first box is telling me that price is still holding up, but there is a threat on this support, this current area, because you can see in the past price has hit it like 3 times and price has returned to it. So I'm going to start first of all by explaining for you the first case scenario if the bulls are like to play up. If the bulls are going to hold this current supply zone, then there will be a rise in demand that will bring price back up. But please be rest assured that when price gets to this range, now I see that I need to make some adjustment to my boss, right? This range. That when price gets to this range, there will be a reaction, right? This particular range. What is that range? That's the price of 0.4 to 0.42. Price could likely react. Why? Because of the previous okay, let me zoom in to get this explanation quite easier. Because of this point, previous broken support area becomes a resistance and previous resistance becomes a support. This point, it will be a reaction, but they are likely going to break up ahead of it. So once they break ahead of it, their target will be here, which around 0.5 to 0.6 range. Once they get to 0.6 range, they could push them right back to 0.4, right? Range of 3.8. Now, of which they could take another attack to this 0.64 all the way to 0. What 0.8. Now this 0.64 could give them a reaction back. Now this is happening as a result of, you can see their movement is not quite a straightforward movement in the past because of this range. We are in a range environment, and this range environment is likely going to keep price down for a while. So a good patience is needed on this chart. Remember, we started this chart with weekly chart, and you can see the weekly chart is still stuck in a range. So this environment, you can see the movement is what they are likely going to still suffer if they are going to move. So they're going to struggle like this and attack this point, but they're going to get to this 0.8, and if they insist, if the buy pressure here is currently strong enough, which I see them likely around anywhere, this will take a while. This is take a month or 2 or 3, if not 3, to play out. So you're going to need patience because they are likely going to attack this 1.12 to 1.2 area, of which if they can succeed in getting 1.2, definitely. If they don't get them pushed down from here, they are going to get down pushed down from here. So a reaction is very possible. So this reaction is going to take them down. But if you ask me, Bitcoin Gorilla, what is the worst case scenario that could happen to Flamingo if things really start going down? Because especially if Bitcoin goes down, it's going to take a lot of altcoin with it. Then expect it to get to this what? Expect it to get to 0.22 all the way to 0.2 range. Likely. So at what point we could get 0.2 range? or 0.18. Now, if you like my strategy and you want to learn how to trade, I'm a high leverage trader. You can come to Makaveli Traders. I trade 125x, and currently access is currently open. You're going to get 3 months intensive training. Please don't trade this high leverage if you don't have rules and regulation. My trading law comes with rules and regulations. If you're